Replacing Scamacca seemed impossible until Retegui transformed Atalanta's season completely. Atalanta began their season on a major European stage, but Real Madrid denied them in the Super Cup final. A 2-0 defeat left them eliminated on opening night. Serie A brought an emphatic response as Atalanta brushed Lecce aside 4-0, with Brescianini and Retegui both scoring twice. Retegui gave Atalanta the lead in Turin, but Torino turned it around to win 2-1. Dim City's own goal set the tone as Inter handed Atalanta a punishing 4-0 defeat, with Thuram scoring twice. They bounced back at home to beat Fiorentina 3-2 in an emphatic response. Retegui, De Ketelaere and Lookman all on target. Atalanta's Champions League opener against Arsenal finished 0-0, with Atalanta missing a penalty in a tense stalemate. Zappacosta gave Atalanta the lead, but Kolashinak's own goal turned the tide. A late Lookman penalty was not enough, as Como escaped Bergamo with a 3-2 win. Atalanta came away with a 1-1 draw at Bologna after Castro struck first. Lukumi was sent off before Samadjic rescued a late point for the visitors. Jim City, Lookman and Bellavina fired Atalanta to a 3-0 win at Shakhtar Donetsk in the Champions League. Retegui's hat-trick powered a 5-1 home win over Genoa after that European result. Pasalic set Atalanta on the way to a 2-0 win away to Venezia, with Retegui adding the second after the break. Celtic held Atalanta to a 0-0 draw in Bergamo on another Champions League night. Retegui and Lookman both struck twice as Atalanta thrashed Verona 6-1 at home. Retegui hit the 10-goal mark in Serie A during the rout. Samadjic set Atalanta on their way in a 2-0 home win over Monza before Zappacosta sealed it late. Atalanta made it 5 in a row at Naples with a 3-0 win. Lookman scored twice and Retegui added the third in another dominant performance on the road. Atalanta won 2-0 away to VfB Stuttgart in the Champions League with a controlled performance. Lookman scored first before Zaniolo finished it late. Atalanta came from 1 down to beat Udinese 2-1 at home and move into second in the table. Pasalic and an own goal completed the turnaround. Their momentum travelled well to Parma, where a 3-1 win made it 10 straight league matches with a goal. Retegui, Ederson and Lookman shared the scoring. Atalanta produced a European statement in Switzerland, overwhelming young boys 6-1. Retegui and De Ketelaere scored twice, while Kolasinac and Samadjic added the rest. Derone and Zaniolo scored late in the second half as Atalanta beat Roma 2-0 on the road. Lookman's stoppage-time winner beat AC Milan 2-1 at the Govis Stadium and sent Atalanta top of the table. It also stretched the unbeaten league run to 10. Goals from De Ketelaere and Lookman were not enough in Bergamo as Real Madrid beat Atalanta 3-2 in the Champions League. Zaniolo's lone goal sent Atalanta to a 1-0 win at Cagliari, keeping the league run rolling. Atalanta opened their Coppa Italy campaign by beating Cesena 6-1 at home and moving into the quarter-finals. De Ketelaere and Samadjic each scored twice despite a late Cesena reply. De Ketelaere scored twice to secure a 3-2 comeback win over Empoli at home. His brace took him to 10 goals in all competitions as the unbeaten league run reached 11. Brescianini equalised late in the match as Atalanta earned a 1-1 draw with Lazio and extended their scoring streak to 15 straight league matches. Inter ended their Supercoppa Italiana semi-final with a 2-0 win, Dumfries scoring both goals to send Atalanta out. Back in league action away to Udinese, they were held to a 0-0 draw and slipped to third. Mateo Retegui equalised late for a 1-1 home draw with Juventus. The result meant they had now gone 15 matches unbeaten in Serie A, a powerful statement in the title race. Atalanta fell 3-2 to Napoli at the Gewis Stadium with Retegui and Lookman on target. Lookman reached 10 Serie A goals. Atalanta cruised past Sturm Graz 5-0 on a lively Champions League night in Bergamo. Retegui struck first before 4 more goals followed after the break. Retegui's brace carried Atalanta to a 2-1 win at Como after they had fallen behind. He finished the day on 16 Serie A goals. Ederson and Pasalic replied in a 2-2 draw with Barcelona as Atalanta closed the first phase of their Champions League campaign. Barca had led just after the break before the comeback. Jim City was on target, but Atalanta were held to a 1-1 draw by Torino at the Gewis Stadium. A missed penalty added to the frustration. Cup duty brought frustration for Atalanta, with Bologna winning 1-0 at Gewis Stadium in the quarter-final after Castro struck late to end their run. Atalanta bounced back from the cup exit by thrashing Verona 5-0 away. Retegui scored 4 times to reach 20 Serie A goals, with Ederson adding the other. Pasalic cancelled out Ferran Jutglar's opener, but Club Brugge still beat Atalanta 2-1 on their Champions League knockout night. Nilsson's late penalty settled it. Cagliari held Atalanta to a 0-0 draw at the Gewis Stadium on their return to Serie A action. The Champions League tie turned harsh at the Gewis Stadium as Club Brugge beat Atalanta 3-1 despite Lookman's reply. Talbi scored twice and Ferran Jutglar added a first-half goal, with Toloi's late dismissal compounding the frustration. Atalanta cruised past Empoli 5-0 on the road in a strong league response. Lookman scored twice, with an own goal helping set the tone. Venezia held Atalanta to a 0-0 draw at the Gewis Stadium in a rare stalemate for both sides. Juventus were dismantled 4-0 away as Atalanta produced another statement result. Retegui's penalty took him to 25 goals in all competitions. Inter won 2-0 at the Gewis Stadium through Carlos Augusto and Martinez. Ederson's red card before the late second goal sharpened the setback. Back on the road, they fell to a 1-0 loss to Fiorentina. Keane struck before half-time to settle a tight match. Isaacson settled a 1-0 Lazio win at the Gewis Stadium on the hour as Atalanta's slump deepened. Retegui set the tone early and Pasalic followed as Atalanta beat Bologna 2-0 at home. Ederson's goal earned Atalanta a disciplined 1-0 win away to AC Milan at San Siro. Carlson's first-half penalty put Lecce ahead before Retegui replied from the spot in a 1-1 draw at the Gewis Stadium. Atalanta swept Monza aside 4-0 on the road in a display of dominance. De Ketelaere scored twice before Lookman and Brescianini added the late finishes. Lookman struck early as Atalanta beat Roma 2-1 at the Gewis Stadium and secured Champions League qualification. Atalanta twice came from behind to beat Genoa 3-2 on the road in a tense comeback. Retegui scored the late winner to reach 25 Serie A goals for the season. Maldini's brace was not enough in the season finale as Atalanta lost 3-2 at the Gewis Stadium to Parma. Hainaut levelled before Andre Keller's late 2 goals sealed it. What looked like a season ready to wobble after that early blow instead became proof that Atalanta could reinvent themselves on the run. Retegui did more than just plug a gap, he exploded into life with 28 goals. The team found a new level of nerve, reeling off a 15-match unbeaten surge and delivering statement wins in Turin and Switzerland. There were bruises along the way, from the Super Cup loss to Real Madrid to the Champions League exit, but they still secured third place and another year among Europe's elite. For a side told the plan was broken before it began, this was a season of massive character. Thanks for watching Scoreflow, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.